Dan?
Oh, boy. It's never good when you use Dan.
I just like, so you know how there's like 7 to 8 billion people?
Sure.
And you know how like 3.5 billion of them are like genetically superior, stronger, smarter beings?
I won't comment on it.
You know how women are like lesser beings and have never done anything important.
Oh,
can you
Dan.
smell me from here? Can you smell me from here? My name's Asmongold. Nice to meet
Dan,
you.
how have you gotten yourself into this one?
Oh no, he's having the white podcaster moment.
This is why you sit in front of the door.
Yeah, listen, Dan, we're about to blow up these views, all right?
Oh, boy. Asmongold.
So man, I hate women so much. I'm just so sick. I'm so sick of women. Because they come over my house, and they're like, Asmongold, is that a dead cat in the corner of your room? And you're like, no. Oh wait, yeah, it is. And they're like, Asmongold, why does it smell in here? And you're like, well, because I haven't taken a shower or cleaned my room in the last 2.5 years. And then you're like, well, then why are you here, Miss Girl? And they ask themselves the same question, then they leave, and that's it. But then I use this jadedness to be upset about actually historically accurate representation of women as samurai in the 15 and 1600s.
Of course.
And so
because you know like women now, so why like women then?
That's the thing.
In past.
Women never good.
Yeah.
Women always bad.
Women can't fight many a many men.
Many can't no fight man.
But man can fight many a many man.
As long as man has hidden blade, 2 hidden blade, nobody ever sees hidden blade.
No.
So you stab 17, 18 men.
And man has balls.
Yep.
Man has muscles.
Man has a button that appears above their head when they're about to hit you.
Yes.
Yep. So you can counter, man.
Counter flash.
Yep, of course. But women no see counter flash.
No, women don't see.
Only men see counter flash.
I found recently that women don't actually see. They just navigate through pure lust.
It's emotion.
Yeah, it's whining.
Yeah, they just feel, and then because they feel, they know.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
They don't know. They guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say they think, but no, they don't. But no, they don't.
That's a real knee slapper here. Oh
Amen,
my
brother.
Oh, wow, you're gonna run out of water so fast. If you don't know what we're talking about,
joke's on you. I'm pretending to sip every time.
You're just like, I'm getting air. For those of you, you're like, wow, this sounds weirdly like a conversation Nick and Danny had months ago. You'd be right, because it was weirdly like a conversation Nick and Danny had months ago when Assassin's Creed, whatever it was called, Shadows gets announced, and it got revealed that you can play as a black man and a woman as the playable characters. And Asmongold, who's slowly but surely becoming a right-wing grifter and already been the stinkiest guy on the internet, went, a woman can't stab dudes as a ninja, a person whose entire life is dedicated to not fighting openly and being stealthy when some of those successful assassins of all time were women.
Yeah, their whole life dedicated to stabbing people without them noticing. Yeah. Couldn't be a woman.
You need to be a 6'5" hulking individual who pulls the attention of everybody who you see.
I'm so happy you made that point, because I was just going to say, even if you want to ride, for context, because this has been so confusing for everyone,
what do you mean? Women bad.
The Ghost.
It's right there.
It's just a statement.
It's right there.
The Ghost of Tsushima sequel, Ghost of Yotei.
Yes.
Trailer just released, and Asmongold went on a similar tirade that he did with Assassin's Creed Shadows, where he's like, a woman samurai? Like, why are we just like fucking with history this whole time?
Mind you, they existed.
Yeah, mind you, they existed.
Yep.
And also, even if we want to like ride his train of thought and be like, you're right, that's fictional, like, whatever. Wouldn't a ninja be, like, the best role for a woman of that time? The best combative role?
There's a reason there's a entire word dedicated to female ninja, which is konoichi.
Yeah.
Like, it's an entire thing. It was like the art of seduction and assassination. Like half of ninjas in ancient Japan were women.
Their whole bit, a ninja's whole bit, is no one knowing who they are.
Yep.
Killing without being seen, and killing one at a time and not getting into open fights.
Yep.
And Asmongold's like, women are too frail for that.
No. They're going your way. You couldn't fight multiple men at once. That's not the point of a ninja. No, hey, Asmongold,
Yeah.
as somebody who's fought multiple people at once, nobody can do it. It's really fucking hard because, like we've established, there's no counter flashes in real life.
Right.
When you're fighting somebody and there's somebody behind you, you're not Tom Cruise in an action movie. You don't hear the fist coming for the fucking back of your head.
Well, that's the thing too, is like even ignoring the fact that like in this like sexist dialogue, a ninja is a great role for a female combatant.
Yeah.
Where's all of the arguments anytime you have a cinematic of Ezio literally fighting an army of people and holding his own?
Yeah.
A dude can't do that.
Nope.
Silly.
Especially as like a bunch of like 17th century soldiers pack their muskets down and then just like slowly and cinematically line up to point it at you and you point blank dodge a fucking bullet. Like, hey, also they're just firing in a circle at each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah, of course. Like now it's gotten unrealistic.
I know, it's all nonsense. It sucks too because that kind of like straw man, like nonsense behavior of being like, this is awful because it's a woman, like makes everyone who's like, oh man, I was hoping it'd be the protagonist from the first game just because I like that protagonist. It makes all of their voices like drowned out because now anytime I see a comment where people are like, oh, that sucks, I wanted more Jin, whatever his name is, Jin Sakai. I wanted more Jin Sakai. And everyone will like, just say you hate women. And it's like, oh, nice, cool. Now no one can talk about this game.
Yeah, it's like cool. I probably would have wanted, like, if Red Dead 3 happened, I would have liked it to be Arthur. Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'd love to have some more Arthur Morgan like shenanigans to get into. If I like to jump back into the GTA world, I'd love it if Trevor and fucking Michael and
Franklin. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough that you didn't remember
that one black dude. Yeah. I was a big Michael guy, but I also like popping to Trevor.
Michael's the best one. Agreed.
But objectively, Franklin did have the best like slowdown thing because I love driving real fast.
I mean,
and
Franklin's also the only like good person.
Oh, absolutely. There's a reason. Like at the end of the story, you have to choose between Michael and Trevor dying. So basically the Ghost of Yote, you get to play as a woman. And I love that Asmongold is surprised by this when you actually fight alongside, in the original Ghost of Yote, a female samurai.
Fight alongside multiple women, I'm pretty sure. There's like the archer, I think, no, he might be a guy. But yeah, there's like multiple female companions in Ghost of Tsushima. And the girl looks sick. She has 2 katanas. You know, because a woman needs twice the swords. So they're listening to you.
Because arms know is strong. So gotta have blade.
Dude, honestly, you know what's so weird?
That more people didn't use 2 swords?
That's not that weird because it's way weaker.
Come on.
It's harder to hold on to one.
With one hand, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my thing. Let's say you got 1 katana, like an idiot. You're swinging at me, right?
Yeah.
Block, stab.
You would think.
You don't have 2 swords. I got 2 swords.
People don't. I understand. You're making sense.
I'm trying. I am trying.
But real sword fighting isn't a lot of slashes. It's mostly stabs. So you stab with one. Well, and then you got another.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm telling you, man, it's like kicking when you're on the ground, wrestling your siblings. You just keep stabbing.
I'm pretty sure it's worse.
It cannot be worse. Can you stab with a katana? It doesn't feel like a stabby sword.
Dude, we should do an anime IRL that's like the bell curve of swords, where our theory is one sword is really good. Then the more swords you have, the worse it gets, but at a point until a number, and then once you're at like 8 swords, it's better than 1.
You're a fucking genius.
Right.
How many swords is too many swords? We build a suit, right? And we just like slot swords into the suit, and then we just
get them to spin.
And then we're just spinning, Dan, and then we're just spinning. You're a fucking genius.
No, I was gonna say, I can't believe more anime or video games. Like, you know how fucking hyped I'd be if I was already hyped to see that the girl has 2 swords.
Yeah.
That's infinitely more hype than 1. Yeah. If they released the trailer and she puts one in her mouth, I'm buying that game today.
Absolutely.
I'm buying it. I'm pre-ordering it. I'm pre-ordering the most expensive edition.
I want the mouth swing to be its own button. Because I just want to run some wicked combos.
Dude, I love games where they have a dedicated button for something silly. There was a game called Vanquish that was like...
You made one guy happy.
I hope so.
You just made one dude real happy.
That game's awesome.
Yeah?
It's by the Bayonetta people, by the Devil May Cry people, and you're like... It's like a sci-fi third-person shooter. It's awesome. There's a cigarette button. You just press a button, you smoke, and it doesn't do anything.
That's sick as hell.
Yeah, it's
Every single photo I've seen of this game, this dude is fucking sliding.
Yeah,
Every single... Is this just sliding the game?
The sliding's the best part.
I would hope so, because they're really hammering the sliding here. This looks
awesome.
like a mix between... what is it? What's the giant robot where you're a giant robot fighting? It came out recently. Man, the 360 has some great fucking games. But yeah, so I was thinking about this recently, and I was like, man, fighting against katanas would be so easy. You know what I would do? I have these like long, distended fantasies where I think about medieval weapons and what would be a really good idea. And there's a bunch of like nerds that are way nerdier than us listening to me right now and getting furious. Here's what I'm doing though.
Yeah.
You put me back in like 1300 Japan. I'm taking a little piece of metal, right? I'm taking like 2-3 pieces of metal, and I'm putting them like on a piece of essentially plywood, like thin-ish wood, not like super thick wood. Because like with a shield, right? A shield, you want to be able to stop a sword.
Yeah.
Not me.
You want to catch it.
I'm trying to catch a sword.
Yeah.
My whole thing is like slash, catch, and then they're like, oh no, my sword. Stab, 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 stab.
That's good.
Have you ever seen The King with
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet?
Oh, yeah. Like multiple times.
And his whole thing is he's just got like a hammer and an ice pick. And he just fucks knights up because he's just stabbing through the holes.
It's a lot of wrestling. It's a lot of mud wrestling.
It's big time mud wrestling.
It's mud wrestling and then stabbing through the ice.
Dude, it's Timothy Chalamet at 120 pounds soaking wet, just being like, we're taking it to the mud, baby.
I just read the comments, the chat, and everyone was incredibly nervous during the cold open.
Good, they should be.
I love how you, after 85 episodes, you can open a cold open by being like, all right, Dan, let's get down to brass tacks. Women, worse than men.
Bad.
And most people will be like, he's showing his true colors.
Yeah.
This isn't a joke. This is a crash out.
Finally, Nick comes to like this come to Jesus moment.
We are on such a precarious perch.
I think people are definitely more inclined to believe I'm a bad person as opposed to you. You're golden boy. Like you're a golden boy. I'd say moralistically, you're probably a better person than I am.
What do you want me? You've really put me in a corner here because now if I disagree,
bingo,
you win.
Welcome to Manipulation 101. Things you learn at bad guy school.
It's like me being like, no, come on, I've hit women.
Yeah, come on.
I've hit plenty of women.
Why do you think Sarah's not around right now? Yeah, okay, she's at a wedding. She doesn't have friends. I took her phone. I know her passcode. Come on.
She's in the asylum.
What you do, you go to like LA, LAX. What you do, you see somebody not paying attention to their luggage, slip a phone in their luggage. Sarah's on a trip. Easy as that. I just thought of that. That's not a bad way to make somebody disappear, low-key. Listen, this is not real advice.
That's how you make someone disappear.
That's a pretty good way to convince people. That's a pretty good way to convince people somebody's on a trip for at least 2 to 3 days.
If you're ever trying to take in somebody, there's your move.
That's not bad.
Yeah, wow. Well, there's the pod.
Time to go to LAX to pick up Sarah. A wink. A wink. All right. We do actually have a lot to talk about today.
I want to do an episode. We talked about before how I miss doing bits. I want to do an episode where I've just cracked. I come in and I'm like, yo, it's the girlfriend episode, right? And you're like, I guess you could bring Sarah. And I'm like, all right, come on in, sweetie. It's like a sex doll with like her face like drawn on.
I would have liked a girl that looks kind of like Sarah, but like noticeably not Sarah.
That's way better. Well, I was going to say I bring in the sex doll and I'm like dementia ridden the whole pod.
You're just like,
I'm just like taking a bite out of the side of a glass. Yeah.
Is it dry in here?
Yeah. This apple sucks, dude.
It's a fucking
honk.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just lose our fucking minds
I like
one of these
the
days.
idea of bringing in not Sarah though. That's really funny. Josh the other day,
She's just housing a rack of ribs. You're just like, Sarah, I thought you were a vegan. She's like, yeah, I know I am.
Just silent.
These are soy.
Just silent the whole time, like housing ribs. I'm like, hey, yeah, what do you think of Naruto? Gets up, just spouts a slur. I'm like, all right.
Just barks. Like, fucking, oh, God. Okay. Oh, we have a lot to talk about. We actually, for those of you who don't know, we're somewhat officially into the I guess it's the winter season of 2025.
Thank God.
Yeah, we were limping. We've been
This
limping.
channel was limping.
It's not that bad. The difference between a good podcast for us is like 10,000 views.
Yeah.
Bad's 25, good's 35.
Yeah.
Really good's like 40.
Yeah. Don't look at the views lately.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
It's all in the 20s.
Yeah, I mean, because who wants to watch us? Who wants to listen?
That's what I'm saying.
With
We're
all due
out of
respect,
the
who wants to
slurm.
listen to us talk about MHA's 114th best episode?
That's what I'm saying. We're out of the slurp.
Hey, no. Danny
boy.
hates Apothecary Diaries, 31K. Nick loves Apothecary Diaries, only 27. What's that about, guys? What's that about?
He did 2 back-to-back Apothecary Diary ones.
Yeah, I know, and it's like not that popular of an anime.
Insane
But
call.
there's a lot of stuff that's come out recently.
Yep.
We're finishing up with My Hero, which had a really good episode. We got Elusive Samurai to talk about. Wistoria's last episode came out. Oshinoko is delayed. Helluva Boss dropped a short, and Uzumaki released its first episode.
Now, you said Wistoria's episode was like the best of the season, and there's no contest.
Last season, like last episode, so like last week's, yes, was
gotcha.
the best episode of anime this season, except for maybe this episode of MHA.
I don't even know if this is better than the Endeavor episode where he shoots fire out of his eyeballs.
The Endeavor, when he shoots fire out of his eyeballs, is a great episode, but this, I feel as though, was the gold standard of how MHA should have been treated for the last 2 seasons, and simply wasn't.
I will say this was the first time in years I was like, oh, this is like a My Hero ass moment.
Yeah.
Like this is back to
I
its
teared up.
roots. Yeah, when Todoroki, they're doing the classic like blaring horns like soundtrack. Todoroki's just running at a dude, charging a thing up. That's all My Hero is someone just running at a dude,
With
doing a big
a heavily
move.
dimmed scene of somebody, just like on fire, basically.
Yeah. I felt it. We were back to our roots. So explain what episode this was.
Okay, so we're going straight into MHA here. Nice. So this is the episode of, oh God, it's the introduction of Iron Might. It is,
It's
the introduction of Iron Might. Todoroki goes to
the
battle.
finale of
It's the Dobby explosion
Dobby.
episode.
Yeah, it's the final Dobby fight.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the episode finale. I don't think this is season finale.
No, but it's the final Dobby fight.
Yes,
like,
yeah. Dobby's fight is now over.
Yeah.
So this episode, everyone was like being like on the internet being like, oh my God, like, oh, where did this animation come from? This was Jujutsu Kaisen level animation. And it did look good.
Yeah.
The episode looks great.
Do what you got to do
I
biologically.
was just fucking fighting for my life there, dude. I was pushing things back that I don't even know. I don't know what those were. So this
Demons,
actually. This episode looks like MHA should have looked for the last 2 years, and I think if they put this amount of attention and care into every episode of MHA for the last 2-ish years, we wouldn't be talking about it in the way that we talk about
No.
it. Because this was, and I hate to say it, I hate to be that guy who's like, oh, need to be pretty for me attention, but like this.
Helps.
It sure as shit does. Like when something looks good, it's gonna hold my attention better.
Yeah.
That's just the way that it works.
I agree. This did look good. Calling it JJK season 2 is
Not
pretty
my words.
clickbaity.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty nonsense. Just because there wasn't, it was like 10 seconds of like really, really cool. Like when Ida's blasting and
When they're doing the ice
stretching
jet.
and shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
the ice jet. It's so silly that he
Ice
made
Jet
a
is
jet.
very funny. Ice Jet's very funny. How dare you?
He's riding Ida as a jet.
As a jet, I love the idea of the Fred Flintstone jet. Like that is exactly what's going on.
Yabba dabba doing over to Dobby.
Yeah, and I was like, how does first off, how would this Ida know? Like Ida's never gone this fast. How is Ida avoiding shit right now? Like,
yeah.
like if like Shoto's just making him go faster than he's ever gone in his entire life. So your engines are stalled, right? And he's like, well, no, actually.
I mean, that's like the Flash conundrum. It's like, how does the Flash get anywhere without crashing instantly?
I guess
It just
being
goes. I mean, when he ran, you saw like the building shatter and stuff. I could buy that whatever's in front of him is getting like atomized
Probably.
or whatever because he's moving at speed of sound. But
transonic. I don't know what transonic speeds mean. Outside of like
It was a
maybe
sound
like
barrier.
Chris Chan.
yeah.
Did you like that?
Ayo.
That was really
Ayo,
good.
what
That was
throwback.
really good.
Chris Chan.
Wow.
Whoa, what a weird Chris Chan call.
But like, come on, transonic speeds. Because
That was too much of a thinker, honestly.
come on.
Yeah, no, I mean, it went over my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Right?
That's pretty good.
Thanks. I try my hardest.
Whoa. But yeah, he was moving at least at speed of sound because he had the little like air cups at his feet.
Well, they said he was going as fast as a fighter pilot. Like, so it's like probably Mach 4, Mach 5. So
Yeah.
probably a couple times faster than the speed of sound.
But yeah, it was, the animation went hard when they were doing that bit. I loved, it was a weird, cute moment when he slaps his mask on a Todoroki.
Yeah.
That was cute. And then after.
Dude, Todoroki was baby girl as hell there. Ida was like, uppies, come on. He's like, come on, like passenger princess him.
It was that, and then I loved when it was all twinkling with the ice. Like, I was like, whoa, this is a cool frame.
I thought the animation switched to like Ida's stretch face was cool, and I was like, oh, like my biggest thing with MHA, and I don't even think it's about animation, I think it's about lack of directorial vision. Like there's they kind of, MHA is the epitome of, look, it's the manga.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's just an adaptation
the
of the
bare
manga.
minimum.
Exactly. And that was like, to me, like a really good directorial choice. Like, hey, we're gonna switch up the animation style here. You're gonna to give you the scale of the speed there. We're gonna actually put direction into this that makes it an interesting shot. And so while I was like, oh, I don't know if I liked how that looked, I was like, oh, it's nice to see that there's love being put into this IP.
No, I agree entirely. And you put it very well. Because, yeah, it's a very, like, bare minimum anime, which isn't, like, not bare minimum, because it could look like...
Oh, it could look worse. It
Yeah,
could
it
look
could
like
look-
Seven Deadly Sins.
Yeah, it could look way worse. But
Yeah.
bare minimum directorially in that they're just like, yeah, we're just doing the manga.
Yeah.
Like, nothing...
Page for page.
Yeah, you're not getting anything in the anime other than
A
movement.
soundtrack.
Yeah. That you're not getting in the manga. And if anything, the manga panels. Because I've said before where I'm like, I'll see a frame and it'll make me wish I was reading the manga.
Yes.
Because I'll be like Mirko losing her arm and doing the rabbit run.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I bet this looks sick in the manga.
It does. There's a lot of really good Horikoshi. It's kind of hard to keep up with fights in the manga.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to track what's going on, but at the same time, there's a lot of like really cool fucking like one like double spreads or shit like that. Like he has really good still shots.
Oh, yeah.
And those are unfortunately like when like All Might's like statue is on fire and Dobby's there. That's
Yeah.
one of the sickest. It's like well shot. It's well shaded. It's so sick in the manga, and they just didn't really like deliver in the anime. And so like that's kind of what you lose out in the anime, at least with I think like like MHA's anime adaptation.
Is his paneling as good and as sick as Chainsaw Man's?
Chainsaw Man's is as good as it gets.
Wow.
Chainsaw Man is gonna be.
I
Listen,
saw your video.
oh, it's so fucking dope.
Yeah, those were dope examples. I didn't know the astronaut thing was Chainsaw Man. That goes really
it's the
hard.
Darkness Devil.
It's
it's
really
like
cool.
the number. It's like probably the second strongest primal devil. And then you can see it in the background. That thing in the background on the moon is the Darkness Devil. And then they just did like a ghoul, like a flesh
ghoul
railgun,
devil.
like a flesh railgun crawled out of the Statue of Liberty and fired a finger bullet all the way across the globe. It was dude, Tatsuki Fujimoto's brain is fucking ridiculous, and I love it so much. Anyways, we gotta stay with MHA, and then we'll talk about Chainsaw Man here in a second. I liked the animation of the beginning of them showing Dobby, like his like hands, like the fire coming out his hands and all that. They dimmed the hell out of him. I wish Ida got more screen time.
I wish that the entire season.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He's my favorite character in MHA, and I forget that sometimes because I just don't see him.
They again, we've talked about this before. I won't get into it a lot, but I miss the creativity Horikoshi used to have, because I feel like now anytime Ida shows up, it's just like he's like, oh, he'll just do a run and that's it.
He's
like,
a taxi.
He can do so much more than just a run. Like you can be in the same way that Deku was just strength.
Yeah.
But he uses that in creative ways. Do that with Ida.
We've also never seen Ida like full speed. Just could you imagine?
Just hit a guy? Yeah, he's never just hitting a guy.
We've never seen Ida run and hit somebody.
Yeah.
Ida's always just running around somebody. I want to see Ida. He'd probably shatter every bone in his body. I don't know. Like,
Give him fucking, you can get around that. Give him a hand
Deku's
thing.
got fucking finger bullet gloves. Give him like I just want to see Ida. Ida laying somebody out would be, especially with like, he was flying. He was flying in this episode,
Yeah,
not
he was
running.
a jet. He was a literal
He was an
jet.
actual jet. Like, and so like,
I guess that if to defend the jet, I guess you need the shape to stay in the air. Like if you're just the shape of a man and you put rocket boots on.
You don't have updraft.
Yeah, you don't have updraft. You can't like stay level. So it makes sense.
Do you know why playing? You know why wing make plane go up?
Because it goes. I'm right.
What?
The wings go. They angle, and then the wind goes under the wing, and it rides up like it pushes the wind down.
You are right.
I know.
You are right.
I know how plane works.
I just wanted to make sure you know how plane works.
I know how plane works.
Yeah, you are, man. You able think. You are able think. I forgot. This is so Endeavor versus Davi always should have looked like this. And I was so stoked to see this actually like look like, because it's such a seminal moment in the manga. Like this is like it's like the end of Dabi essentially.
Yeah.
It's like Dabi is like burnt himself to a crisp. He gets cooled down by the entire family. The family's getting burnt away. Endeavor, like I will come out and say that like I personally wouldn't forgive Endeavor for what he's done, but at the same time I can acknowledge the fact that Endeavor is probably if not the most compelling thing in this manga, the second most compelling thing in this manga. His storyline, his family line, the Todoroki family line, all that revolving around like Endeavor as an abusive father, what they did to Dabi, what they did to Shoto, what it did to his wife, everybody else, I think is one of the most compelling storylines throughout the entirety of this manga.
That's fair.
Like, I don't know what I would say. I don't even know what I would say is better than that. Like, I would say I'd rather spend time with Endeavor and the Todoroki family than Deku versus Shigaraki.
I don't know. I like the kids infinitely more than the adults. Like, I just, when there's like...
Well, it's not that I like Endeavor. I just find him compelling.
I find it more entertaining to see Deku interact with Todoroki or Bakugo. Like, he brings... Deku himself isn't super interesting. Yeah. He brings out interesting stuff from these other characters.
Yeah, he is kind of like a catalyst for all the interesting characters in the story to be more interesting.
Yeah, but I agree. I mean, the Todoroki stuff's obviously the most, like, if not some of the most compelling stuff.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for Dabi. This was the only time
You're
in
kind
like the
of
whole
supposed to.
Yeah, this is the only time the whole season I felt, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And that's also
I also felt really like I loved when he's like on the ground and he's like scumbag dad die, mother die, me die too. Like really like the tears freezing down his cheek. Like I was like getting teared up.
I felt bad when he was getting hug crushed by his dad because I flashed back to all the comments in our TikToks of people being like, where like there's such an interesting debate of whether or not Endeavor should be blamed for Dabi's kills. Because people are like, there's a debate of who's worse, Dabi or Endeavor, and people are like, Endeavor just abused one person. Dabi murdered hundreds. And it's like, guess what caused him to do that?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, you have to take responsibility. Like, you can't just be like, oh, my daddy made me do this. Like, I get that, but at the same time...
you get half. You get an assist.
Yeah, you get an assist. It's an objective fact that, like... he wouldn't have done that if it weren't for Endeavor.
Yeah.
So Endeavor's definitely getting XP on those kills.
Absolutely. He's just XP farming. It's like multi-level marketing for his own XP. It's like I'm gonna put you kids out there, these little monsters that I made.
But like that's why he's like crushing his son. He's getting this redemption arc. It's almost like because I know this is the moment where people are like gonna see redemption in Endeavor, I felt worse for Dabi. Like I was like, man, this dude's fucking sucking up your sympathy right now, Dabi.
Yeah, that's kind of fair. So like my thing is like we've talked a couple times about how like Endeavor kind of is like always looking for like he's always looking to be forgiven, but like he's also just doing hero stuff. So it's like his way to be forgiven is just to continue being a hero, right?
They're gonna yell at you. He's looking for atonement.
Okay, whatever. But do you feel as though this episode established a difference in the narrative? Like, do you feel as though this episode they were like, oh, Endeavor is now, because like he talks about how he's like, I thought like by continuing to be a hero and acknowledging that Dabi existed and that I had a role in that would be how I get like forgiveness or atonement. But now, like during this episode, a big thing for him is like he's like, I was seeing you, but now like I actually have to like I have to step down and like take atonement for what you've done. Like, do you feel as though, like, his way to achieve atonement has shifted to a way that you're more willing to accept?
I need to see it happen. Like,
Fair.
I need to see him, like, work in a coffee shop and hate it or something, you know?
He's like trying to mix a drink. He's only got a half arm. He keeps making it out of fire. Like, that's a cold drink, bitch.
It was so funny. There's a part in this where he's like, I'm starting to finally feel the ramifications of my injuries. I'm like, you're missing 30% of your body.
Missing an arm and most of your stomach. And he's like, my legs are getting tired. And it's like, all right, dude, fuck. You are on fire.
Yeah, no, I need to see him like soak in his atonement. Because again, yeah, like you said, the whole time he's like, I'm going to atone by doing what I was doing anyway.
Yeah.
And then now he's like, wow, now I'll step down. But I need to see him be like step down and come to terms with the fact that he can't be number 2 anymore. Yeah. Or number 1. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just need like the epilogue and then I'll feel
I feel like you're going to like the epilogue. I really like how MJ ends. I called it like the perfect ending for the story. A lot of people don't like it. I disagree with that. I think there's a couple of things in it that are weird, especially, and that's going to come more into sight after next episode. We'll talk about it when the story's over, but like, I really like the ending of the story, and that is all.
Do we have another episode? I thought this was the last.
There's no way.
No, well, you told me that. You told me it'd be the last.
I think, well, so everything else ended. Everything else ended this week. Wistoria ended this week.
I thought you meant like all the fights, and I'm like, I feel like Shigaraki's still. Like,
there's a lot more.
Yeah.
So Elusive Samurai ended.
Yeah.
My Hero. I don't think that didn't feel like a season-ending episode, right?
Well, but I don't know though, because it did. But there's so much left.
There's also not like what could be identified as a season-ending moment between here and the end of the story.
Exactly. It's the end of the whole thing. So it's like, if you're like if I pitched you like,
Dobby's
hey,
defeat would be a good place to end.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm like pitching you the season, I'm like, and then we end on one of the major villains, Dobby's final moments.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
I guess we'll find out next week.
Yeah, we'll find out next week.
It's just weird to like, it just stops.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just gone. Because like Elusive Samurai, everything else like felt like, oh, like this is done. Like Elusive Samurai, they're like, oh, goodbye. They looked at the camera and they're like, goodbye. Yeah. Like Wistoria, the same thing. They were like running around in a courtyard and being like, there was like people being mysterious in the background, but the kids were just enjoying themselves and like, goodbye. And then there was just like Endeavor crying to his children. They're like, see you in a year, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
I know. Well, you know what else is weird?
Uh-huh.
The movie's coming out. I gotta see what date, and I gotta invite you to the premiere. Because I got invited. Shmee shmo. I can see what date it is. I was gonna tell you today.
What do you mean?
What date it is?
Yeah, why did you get invited to the premiere? I didn't.
I don't know. I got invited.
Who invited you?
I don't know. Someone.
Was it Tatiana?
No.
Okay. I don't think Crunchyroll's doing it.
No.
I DM'd her.
No.
Send him my info.
I did. I was like, oh, do you want NC Hammer? And they're like, you can bring him as a +1. It's like, sure.
Oh, this pod's gone full circle. This pod's gone full circle. Oh, God.
Hey, maybe you can mingle, meet some people out here.
Oh, yeah? I can work my way up the corporate ladder?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to kill myself.
Wow, you're welcome for the invite. That's why I don't tell you things.
No, I'm very grateful and appreciative of you, Dan. It's everybody else I'm upset with.
But no, that's what's weird is that now we're like in the middle of this shit, and now we're gonna have a movie.
Well,
you know?
it's not a canon movie.
I know, but it feels weird.
It does.
It's like in Dragon Ball Z when you're in the middle of the Namek saga, and then they're camping on Earth, and Metacooler shows up.
You mean Metacooler?
Yeah, I mean one of them.
You mean the Metacooler? You know what's wild? So I'm trying to find right now where the end of this fight against Dobby was chapter-wise, because I want to know like how much of the story we have left. I think it's actually, you know, it's nuts. This is chapter 390 in the manga. Actually, you know what? Go ahead actually and flip through that chapter for me for 390. Look at the art of that chapter, because that is one of Horikoshi's more impressive, one of his more impressive chapters, like from a drawn standpoint. Like him and Ida.
I can't believe you read manga on your phone. This is like embarrassingly little.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't want to buy a gajillion books.
You have an iPad.
I do. I have no idea where that thing is.
Also, this looks like.
I also hate walking around with an iPad. I feel like a boomer at a baseball game trying to read the box score.
Where do you read these? You don't leave your house and read?
No, but like, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
My phone's always on me. I don't want to lug around my iPad like I'm like a person outside of Erewhon trying to get people sign up to give people money. And I don't know. Look at the chapter, Danny.
This manga is so weirdly detailed.
It's kind of pretty.
Yeah.
It's like Horikoshi has chapters where you're like, oh my god, this motherfucker can draw. But anyways, that's chapter 391. Do you know how many chapters are in MHA?
Go on.
There's only
391.
Okay, hold up. No, there's 430 chapters.
Okay.
So that's 40 chapters.
A decent amount. We got a season.
That's a season. That's like almost exactly a season.
You know what it looks like? It looks like Fire Punch.
Yeah, kind of.
A lot.
You know what's weird is that Fire Punch doesn't look like Chainsaw Man.
No, not
like
really.
at all.
Chainsaw Man doesn't even look like Chainsaw Man. Like the images, the panels you showed me are so cool. They're so well drawn. They're so detailed. Anytime I've looked up other Chainsaw Man stuff, it's like the sketches in the margins of a school shooter.
What are you talking about? I mean? Chainsaw Man's really cool looking.
Chainsaw Man reminds me of Jujutsu Kaisen's manga, where it's like a little too sketchy for my taste.
Like it's not super like it's not like really really pretty.
Yeah.
But it does have like.
But if you look at like early Chainsaw Man, like maybe he gets better. Yeah, I know. Like that's good.
He's just super. Like Tatsuki Fujimoto just makes really metal drawings.
Yeah, that's true. That's a fact. I love Fire Punch. Fire Punch looks great.
Yeah.
It's hard to follow, like visually.
It's not a great story.
No. I mean, like, it's no like Dragon Ball Z manga where like the fights are like so clear and crisp. It's just like I'll flip to a panel and I'll be like, I'm sure this is sick once I wrap my head around what I'm looking at.
It'll never get an anime, so if you're not figuring it out from the books,
Why
you ain't never
get an anime.
It's too much.
But he's so big.
Tatsuki Fujimoto?
Yeah.
I do think Chainsaw Man is going to become, now that JJK is over, the #1 manga on Earth.
Yeah, I agree.
It's been trending top 3 for the last couple of months, and they're in like a crazy arc right now. It's like the wrap up of part 2 of Chainsaw Man, and I think with 1A, how JJK ended. I'm not going to talk about how JJK ended, but I would like to talk about the repercussions of it ending at some point. Ooh, people are mad.
I think, and I know I'm always saying this,
Uh-huh.
I think Gachakuda is going to have a rise with all this
It's
shit
just too
ending.
inaccessible. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, in America, yeah, for sure. But I mean, like in Japan, it's allegedly pretty big.
Doesn't matter in Japan.
Does it not?
Doesn't matter in Japan.
Where does manga matter?
Danny? And they can read. They're reading manga over there. Come on.
That's what I'm saying. What's like the big? I guess we have to wait like 6 months. I'd love to know what the biggest shonen manga in Japan is in 6 months.
I feel as though I could look that up.
But I mean, like, well, My Hero just ended. JJK just ended. I want to know what the next hot one is.
Well, Gachakuda is not in Shonen Jump, so we won't be able to. Yeah. That's the issue. So it's probably, like I said, it's probably going to be Chainsaw Man.
I look up biggest mangas.
Well, so if you go to Manga Plus, Manga Plus is the Shueisha manga reader. So it's not run by Viz owns Shonen Jump. Shueisha is the like other manga serializer, like the other biggest one. And so if you go to their ranking, they'll do like a week by week ranking of like what had the most reads, downloads, all that.
Hottest or trending?
That would be hottest, I believe.
Number 1, JJK.
Yeah.
Number 2, Chainsaw Man.
Yeah. Number 3 should be One Piece or Boruto, usually.
Which do you think is in which spot?
I would sue Boruto.
3 and 4 are both of those manga.
Yeah, One Piece dropped more recently. Boruto dropped on the 20th. So that was like 10 days ago. I would say it's probably One Piece.
Nope.
It's Boruto?
Boruto 3.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Whenever Boruto drops its monthly chapter, it usually trends as #1 manga until like one of the other big IP drops.
Number 5 is Hero Organization. This looks fucking sick.
What? So usually whenever there's like a new, that's an Ava. That is, I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, it is an Ava.
Usually when a new manga drops, it'll be like in the top 10 for a little bit, like Ichi the Witch.
It's like 3 chapters in.
Yeah, so that like new manga get really hot really quickly, and then they kind of drop off. The only real even though Sakamoto Days is like 15, and like Dawn is 13, and Kagurabachi is 11. So, you know what's crazy? Spy Family consistently in the top 10.
That's hype.
Yeah, and like I don't know a lot of Spy Family manga readers. In fact, I don't know a singular person who reads the Spy Family manga.
Karen the mom.
Karen the mom?
Yeah.
Who is
my mother?
As in your mother reads Spy Family?
Yes.
That's kind of dope, actually. This Hero Organization at
yeah, you know what? Honestly, Ichi the Witch, I'm also gonna look into. I kind of love.
Ooh, this artwork is kind of sick, and it is Gundams. Oh, it's Gundam as hell, dude.
Dude, I told you my favorite idea is to stumble upon the next big manga before it's too deep.
You're so dedicated to getting ahead of the, like, you want to be the first guy talking about a thing. And here we are talking about one of the most popular manga on earth right now, probably 3 weeks later than everybody else. This looks like Promised Neverland. The art style looks like it's giving Promised Neverland, actually.
I guess with robots.
Yeah.
Where do I read this?
Where would you read it?
Yeah.
Oh, if it's on Shonen Jump, it's also, if it's on Manga Plus, it's almost definitely on Shonen Jump.
Maybe.
Let's see, what's it called? Hero Organization?
Yeah.
It is not on Shonen Jump. Then just read it on Manga Plus.
Is that an app?
Yeah, Sueisha's Manga Plus.
Oh, is it like $1 billion?
It's like $2 a month, I think.
Let's go.
But also you get like the first 3 chapters of a manga for free or something like that. So I'd probably read the story and see if you like it before you dive deep into getting a whole nother manga app.
Nope, I'm gonna do it.
You're
Oh,
gonna do
I
it?
just read the first thing for free? Did you just tell me that?
I did just tell you that. Yeah, like verbatim.
Not listening.
Oh, man. Speaking of verbatim, me and Dorothy watched Chimp Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you watch it?
No, Sarah did for work, actually.
For work?
Yeah.
Dude, it is PETA propaganda. It is big time PETA propaganda. It is the first piece of IP. That and Tiger King are the first pieces of IP that have made PETA look even remotely good in the last 2 decades. And
Yeah.
it's got nothing to do with PETA. It's 100% to do with Eric Good, who's a fantastic director.
Yeah.
Quickly becoming one of my favorite directors of all time.
Wow.
He makes such good television.
Yeah, I love Tiger King.
Yeah.
It sucks. PETA just needs a better PR person.
They're just not
They're just not cool.
They're not. They're just cringe.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when it comes down to it, a lot of like vegan types are kind of cringe. And it's like, oh, you have such a noble cause. You're just not approaching it the right way.
It's just tough. They just don't approach it strategically. 'Cause
No.
I've really, I don't eat fish at all anymore. Which
Well,
I
you
know
don't eat
isn't,
fish not because you don't like fish. You don't
I
eat,
just eat fish sticks.
You don't like
I
fish.
don't do fish sticks.
Okay, fish sticks that's a French fry. That's a different textured French fry.
I don't do fish sticks.
You don't like the taste of fish. Don't make this fucking some societal argument.
I avoid pork when I can because pigs are incredibly smart.
But also so tasty.
They're the best tasting, which is unfortunate.
Oh, tasty.
But pigs are very good and they are very smart.
Mm-hmm.
And I also don't kill bugs in the house anymore. I release them into the wild to be killed by their natural predators.
There's a million. The bugs are gonna win one day, Danny. You realize there's many human models show a bug evolution would be the thing that wipes out humanity. People are afraid of nuclear meltdowns and cordyceps and all that. It's gonna be bugs. It's gonna be mosquitoes. It's gonna be something. Eventually, they're gonna figure out how to fucking crack down on us. And one day, there's gonna be a bug versus human war, and we're not coming out on top.
It'll be bugs for sure. I do agree. I just find in doing things like that, other than the difference in eating is obviously very difficult.
Yeah.
I also don't do I do
I could do it. I could replace meat. There's so many good alternatives now.
it's easier if you're in LA.
Yeah.
LA, there's
Oh yeah, I sometimes
so
forget that
easy.
we live in one of the 3 cultural
the
centers.
vegan capital.
Yeah,
of
the 3
America.
cultural centers of some of the best food on earth.
If you actually want to that's the thing. This is where I was getting with it. There's a lot of things.
LA, New York, Las Vegas.
There's a lot.
Vegas has some of the best food on earth.
There's a lot of things that you can do to just be nicer to animals that really don't change your way of living at all. People are just very resistant to change. And I was like that too, with the bugs, where I'm fuck off. I'm not saving bugs. Because Sarah's sympathetic towards anything with eyeballs.
That's wild.
And I was like,
So how'd she feel about moles? Is she just curb stomping them?
moles?
Moles. Moles don't have eyeballs.
I was being dramatic.
Yeah.
They have eyes.
Moles
they
do not have
close
eyes.
them.
They're blind.
Yeah, but they have eyes.
I don't think moles have eyes.
they do.
Danny, I don't think moles
They
have eyes.
have eyes. There's no eyeless animal that isn't a jellyfish.
Okay, hold
Or
up.
worm.
Fuck, moles do have eyes. You're
Yeah,
right.
idiot. They have
Where
eyes.
are they? I don't
They
see them.
close them.
Do they?
You idiot.
Where's the eyes, Dan?
Closer. With that picture, I see why you think it
Where's the eyes? I've never seen eyes on moles ever.
They close their little eyes.
Oh, I hate that. I hate moles.
I don't like the star nose.
I hate their noses, man. They make me so uncomfy.
But
Wait, so she doesn't give a shit like oysters.
like nothing living. The eye thing isn't actually her
okay,
rule.
gotcha.
But like,
That's a pretty good rule.
it's fair. It's reasonable.
Yeah.
It's just, but kind. But there's like, yeah, I was like very resistant. I was like, fuck off. I'm not gonna not kill bugs. Like, who cares? And then I was like, oh, you know, like when there's a bug around, I'm not gonna just kill it in front of her out of spite. So then I start letting them out. Yeah, like,
Bitch.
look at her.
Yeah.
So then I start letting them out and like doing the cup and mail thing. And I found I was like, I just don't need to kill them. Like, it just isn't any more or less inconvenient. And it's the same with like chicken.
You have listen, I have a bug assault. Trust me
I
when
know
I
you
say
love it.
I've got convenience incarnate is killing bugs in this household.
Is just a gun.
I got an
that
assault
fires
shotgun.
salt.
I have an assault shotgun that I put bugs down with in this fucking house.
But it's like if you want to do things that literally do not change your life, but like help animals a ton, like chicken is nearly indistinguishable from fake chicken.
Oh yeah.
Like they perfected fake chicken.
I mean, we're 3D printing beef nowadays with
Yeah.
like making it from what's it? Hemoglobin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just stuff like that where it's like I don't drink regular milk. I drink like oat or almond. Just,
I drink
just 'cause
oat
it's
milk.
always in the house.
Just because my tummy go a little gurgle if I drink regular milk. That's it. Also because oat milk it tastes good.
But it's just stuff like that. It's like I think people are more like would be more open to transitioning to stuff like that if the attitude wasn't like, do it, fuck face.
Yeah,
you know,
throwing blood at people's like $1,000 fur jackets
Yeah.
or something. It's like this was thrifted. Like technically, this is ethical. What the fuck? Please.
But anyway.
Yeah. So how did we get here? How did we get?
Manga and
How did we get to? Oh, because I talked about
what's
Chimp
the
Crazy.
next one gonna be? Did you? Oh, Jim Crazy. Yeah, you like it.
So much fun.
I'll check it out. I love the Tiger King.
I love just watching down south southern people
Be
just
nutcases.
just be fucking crazy, dude. And I'm like, that is my family. I'm
yeah.
so excited to see this. I would never. I'm not an exotic animal person. Not out of like an animal cruelty thing. I'm just scared of them.
Yeah.
I cannot even imagine interacting. If somebody brought a chimp within 100 yards of me, I would run away.
Yeah. I hate monkeys.
Everyone in all of these fucking documentaries is like, oh man, me and this monkey were the best friends. I was like, that is a 200-pound man with fucking talons for teeth.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
The closest I'll get is a gorilla. Every other monkey is like. A gorilla's the most dangerous, I agree.
Yeah.
All the others just like have a weird look. I don't like how they look.
Oh, like you're saying like
I
you
hate a
fuck with a
chimpanzee.
gorilla. That's fair.
Yeah.
Chimpanzees are ugly as
They're
hell.
real ugly.
And then they get real bald when they get old, is what I found out. They get so bald.
yeah, I don't care for them.
They look. Listen, they're kind of cool. They like stick their hands through it's like it'd be weird to have like it'd be cool to have like a human connection with something that's not a human. That I understand. That's kind of dope because you could also just kind of talk to a chimpanzee. You can hand them like there's a moment where Tanya Haddix, the woman, hands her chimpanzee a rag and says, "Clean that for me," and it just does.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this thing is.
I know they just know English.
They just know English, which is fucking crazy. And like they can like do signs and all of that. They can communicate. And it's like I'm communicating with an animal, which is kind of cool. But man, is it a wild ride. Anyways, let's talk about the Helluva boss short.
Okay, sure. That'll be quick. It was funny. Did you see the one with the penguins? The slurring penguins?
Yes.
Not as good as that one. That one's
is
still
funny.
the best.
I love just like this thing is slurring.
Yeah.
That being said, really good joke right at the beginning of this short where Mincy,
Millie?
what are all their names?
Or Moxie?
Moxie, Millie, and
Blitz.
all pop out onto a goat farm.
Yeah.
Bud, what do you want from me? Hi, I love you so much. I went to poop today and just walked into the bathroom and sat and watched me. And I was like, I've never had a crowd for this before. It was a unique experience. Yeah. I love you so much. You're such a good guy. And so they pop up and Mitzi.
Which one?
The man one.
You're mixing all the names.
One.
Moxie
goes, they're human goats. And Blitz goes, I don't care how great they are, and throws one. And I was like, that's a good joke.
Yeah, that is a really
Yeah, I was like, immediately, I was like, that's a really good joke. I like that a lot.
I like when he called himself the, like, Chupa Kadubra or something.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, it's just funny. It's just a good. These shorts. At first, I was like, quit putting out shorts. Just work on episodes. Like, what are you doing? Why are we waiting 3 months for the next episode? And
If
doing
you're
shorts?
pumping out 6-minute like bullshit episodes, yeah.
I think they're necessary because now I'm like, the last 2 episodes were all soap opera trauma dump drama.
Yeah.
And I think we needed to see like Blitz go on adventures doing classic Helluva Boss shenanigans.
Yeah.
So that then when the drama comes back or when he's like, whatever, fuck Stolas, I'm over it. Like, I feel it.
Yeah. I kind of agree because this does feel like a logical continuation of like, oh, Blitz is trying to recover from what he's been going through by just like pouring himself into work kind of thing. And it is like, it's kind of like when Rick and Morty, like in the later seasons, was like, we're going to be we're going to do a long linear story here. And like, they were just like, they lost the interdimensional, like, they like interdimensional cable. They kept redoing it because it was so popular, but it was like, the reason people love this is because it was like true to the core of what the show was. Like, just like needless nonsense shenanigans.
Just a silly romp.
Exactly. It's just fucking improv and like fun, like just like guys having fun making something.
Yeah, that's what's tough to me whenever a show that's really, really funny and is a hard comedy gets into a phase where it feels like the writers are trying to prove to their parents that their job is real writing.
Exactly. Yeah. They're like, oh, you're writing for SNL, or oh no, it's still your YouTube.
Yeah, it's still the cartoon.
Your
huh?
YouTube thing about the goats who fuck each other.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's great. You know, your cousin, he's a doctor. He does hand surgery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He makes. Listen, look, I had carpal tunnel, best I've ever felt. But no, you keep doing your tube show, your tube show.
Do you get any stuff like that from your relatives?
No, because I don't talk to my family.
Wow, that's for the best.
Yeah, that's. You avoid all inroads. Actually, my mom watches my content rather fervently. It's like half the reason I made anime IRL, so I would have something to show her.
Oh, that's sweet.
She loves it.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense to her. Not really, but like it makes enough sense to her.
Yeah.
You know?
My parents are the same. Or well, my mom loves my stuff, obviously. My dad pops in every now and then, and I wish he wouldn't. But like every time I go to a Thanksgiving or something, it's like they're like, yeah, so what are you doing? And I tell them, and they're always like, yeah, that's great. That's great, man. You know, my son-in-law, he's got
hiring.
He's hiring at the real estate thing.
Yeah.
You want to start making actual money. And I'm like,
you're like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't. I haven't been to a family Thanksgiving or Christmas in like 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, my family doesn't like each other. My mom was like the black sheep of the family, and so she just like flipped everybody else off.
That's fair.
And so we don't talk. But so my sister and my mom know what I do, and they understand it. So that's
Nice.
basically that's it. What is funny though, is I went back for my 5-year high school reunion, technically 7 years after because of COVID, and I was like going around talking to all my old teachers, and I just told them I did science. I was just like, I don't want to unpack like being an anime YouTuber to my fucking theology teacher.
That's crazy. Your teachers were there.
Oh yeah.
Was it at the school?
Yeah.
Wow. Mine was like run by like the valedictorian. It was just like a friends get together. Like it was like
At like a house?
no, like a bar.
Oh.
It was
We did a whole weekend at the school. It's a boarding school.
that
Yeah,
makes sense.
you went to
got
public
the
school.
line,
It's like because if you weren't going there, none of us lived around it.
Right, that
Yeah.
makes sense. That's hype. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Ours was like went to like a nice bar, like where you could talk. They rented the bar out.
Yeah.
And so everyone could chat, and then everyone dispersed into shittier bars.
Yeah.
By popularity in high school. So like
Oh, So wait, would the popular kids go to the shittiest bar? Or?
no, the popular kids went to like nightclubs in New Haven.
Oh, they're like, I got a table. I know the the bouncer. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, sick. Yeah, I know the bouncer in the back of Pepe's Pizza in New Haven.
You gotta come on through.
Yeah, you gotta crawl into the brick oven.
You're like, hey, Chad, can I come to the club? Like, no.
I make fun of them, but then the less popular kids, went to just the shittiest dive bar where the bartender's just like, hey, whose ass do I gotta fuck to sell a beer? And I'm like, I think that's like my line.
Yeah. Are you propositioning me? I don't. What do you think I came here for? What do you? I'm not here for your fucking touch tunes.
It's tough. It's tough going back home to like a dive bar and seeing people you like went to school with, and you're like, oh God, what I could have been.
I'm gonna say it. And it's going to be the second most controversial thing I've said this episode, considering the fact that I opened the episode saying that women are
don't
bad.
like women.
I went back to my hometown recently and saw a bunch of people that I love. And somehow people lose hair faster if they don't leave their hometowns. Everyone was bald. Everyone was bald or balding or I know.
This is
this
You're real pot, let me tell you.
I know, but here's the thing. This motivated me. Living in a city filled with pretty people, I was like, can't lose it. Gotta go to Turkey. Gotta get this.
Sorry, not everyone in your hometown. Well, you went to a boarding school. They have no excuse. Yeah,
Well,
you're right.
yeah, there we go. Oh, well, no, everybody who went back to boarding school was fine. They were,
Oh, I see.
yeah. No, I had multiple friend groups. I had my hometown friend group. I had my boarding school friend group. And then I have friends out here. And now I don't talk to any of them.
Right.
Because if you're not within a mile of me, we don't have conversations.
Dude, if I'm not looking at you, I don't talk to you. It's
I-
not even like, it's an ADD thing. It's not I've had a friend who was telling other friends that like, he's like, yeah, Danny's an asshole. He thinks he's better than me. And they were like telling me that. And I was like, first off, I am better than
Time out. Absolutely am.
But I was like, I am better than but it's just because my work is my phone.
Yeah.
And also I have ADHD. And if I'm not looking at you, I forget that you're talking to me.
I wanted today was like one of the few times in our entire friendship where I was just like, I'm just going to give Danny a call. That's so rare for me to just
That
call.
was weird.
To just call somebody. I just wanted to hear your voice.
You just chatted. Well, it's weird to do it on a day I'm seeing you.
I don't know. I wanted to get ahead of it.
Yeah,
I was in
guess
the
so.
car and I was like, I'd like to talk to Danny right now.
It was nice. I like when we do that. We
Like
got
a casual chat.
I know. We missed a Bloons boss event, I think.
I know.
And I wanted to do that
They
with you.
did the fucking boss rush. I
know,
did it today. I did it today with Kyle and Amos. We all sat on the couch next to each other and played balloons. It was a peak Sunday.
Yeah. Anyway, we have so much more anime to talk about.
Nah, we're fine.
Elusive Samurai. It was boring.
There we go. Did it.
You know
Nailed
what?
it.
Elusive Samurai, though, it's funny because we talked about this before, where this is truly like an anime carried by its animation.
Yeah.
Because anytime there's an episode where I'm like, and it's not fair to the show, but anytime there's an episode, I'm like, hey, are you going to show me like the pinnacle of state-of-the-art animation? No.
Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to show me groundbreaking animation that redefines my love for anime? No, fuck off.
Are you gonna show me like the directorial vision of a genius working their craft? No, it's gonna be three guys riding on a horse at each other slowly but surely. Yeah, I'm out.
No, it's going to be footage of a real horse.
Dude,
No, thanks.
and like 3 frames. Was that not weird? Was that just mine, or was it like literally 3 frames?
It was a lot of horse frames, and then they cut a punching bag in half with a sword.
It was okay, but like there was like they showed real horses, and then it was like frame, and I was like, is my TV lagging? I didn't know what was going on.
No, it was that.
That's so odd.
Yeah, but it's not fair to the show. I'm like, every time I'm expecting to get blown away, and when it doesn't, I'm bored.
Because it's just
Because I don't care about the characters that much.
I
It
barely know
feels
their names.
like every time they win a battle,
Yeah.
I'm so lost. I didn't realize how lost I was in the plot. Every time they win a battle, I'm like, well, that's that battle done. And the next episode, they're like, now we're doing this battle.
Yeah,
and
they're
I'm
like-
like, is this the same?
And then they tie it into like it's like an actual history, because all of it is real things that happen in history. It's like a dramatization of like an actual uprising that happened in Edo period Japan. And then they were like, oh, they lost half their property, but now they're safe here. And then they're like your guy is talking about like, oh, we have to cut them off and draw our own line. And I'm like, who is this guy again? And
Yeah.
what are they trying to accomplish? I don't even remember why we're with the beard guy
I don't
and all
know
them.
anything about this
it's-
plot.
Yeah, neither do I. Like, and I don't know if that's our fault. I think it's just like kind of boring and convoluted.
It's a lot of like characters and names and hierarchies. It's like almost my issue with like Chinese like soap opera dramas.
Yeah.
And so I think you mentioned like when it's over, you might rewatch it like in dub. I think I might do that and just
Yeah.
like when season 2 is announced, I'll rewatch season 1.
We had so many season 2s get announced today, by the way. Like an insane amount of season 2s. Wistoria. There was actually a lot of. There was like an insane amount of news.
Wistoria already.
Yeah,
Is it popular?
very.
Let's go. I'm gonna the second I like have a minute, I'm gonna crush through Wistoria.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The last episode was today. It's really good. It built out like everything that's gonna happen in season 2. Introductions of like new factions. There's like a really cool. They like literally they say the title, and that's why last week's episode was so good. They did it like you got to combine the wand and the sword. And then his sword's name is Wistoria. Right. And you're like, oh my God, they did the movie. Yeah. They did the thing. This is the Fight Club. And so, yeah, it's really fun. It's just like, it's a good watch.
Yeah.
Like, it's like in the same way that like, the thing is, I would compare it to Soul Leveling, but I had high expectations for Soul Leveling. If I had just stumbled into Soul Leveling, I'd have been like, fun time. Yeah. And like, this is exactly what, like, this is just a really fun time with cool characters that everybody has like singular motivations. There's a magic system built up. There's like an economy and like a hierarchy that's super easy to explain and understand.
Will's great.
Will's great.
Yeah,
he's
main
just
character.
A good like, he's just, I need more soft boy MCs.
I saw the escape pod. Waffalo, Andrew.
Yes.
You know him.
I know him.
I'm just making sure you knew who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about.
They did a bit, or like they just posed a question where they were like, is anime like, or rather, they noticed in anime there are more main characters who are just good.
Yeah.
And just wanna be good than there are in Western shows.
Like they don't have the necessity to make them complex.
Like there's no, I mean, they're complex. Well, I think that's the thing, is that the Western like mindset is that like a flaw has to mean that you're like fucking people over.
Yeah.
But like Tanjiro, like Tanjiro's flaws are like at times is like indecision, his like, softness, and like that's not him fucking anyone over. He like inspires people. Same with Luffy. Luffy's like a very cool guy. He's very nice, but he's like hot-headed and like he's brash.
Yeah, he rushes to decisions and that puts his crew in weird situations. I think what's interesting, and I'd say it's less about the way that an MC is approached, it's more about the repercussions of their flaws. So like if hypothetically, like, so I think the Tanjiro bit is that's a good conversation bit. So like if you take Tanjiro, for example, and you're like, yeah, indecision and softness are his two biggest detractors. But like he always usually overcomes them or uses those, like when he like kills Rui, right? Or he doesn't kill Rui. When he kills the mom spider, that's like attached to Rui in some capacity, he switches to like a more gentle attack, right? To like decapitate her. If that was like a Western piece of IP, I think that the way that they would approach that weakness or something, if they wanted to use it as a flaw, is that because he switched to like a softer attack, he didn't get to fully decapitate her and she went on to kill more people.
Yeah.
And like then now he has to identify like, oh, this like, because he doesn't like, his battle against Hantengu really like shows off well that he's no longer giving like he doesn't no more pity for demons, right? So that's like we got that story progression arc with really there ever being like repercussions or problems with like what like his softness or his weaknesses. In American or like Western IP, I feel as though there would be repercussions.
Yeah.
Kind of, and a really good example of this is Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
There's the knife scene, and the dude lets the German guy get away, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like a coward, he lets the German guy get away, and then the German guy goes on to kill one of the members of the squad later on.
Well, it's interesting because it's like, if you think of, right, like Castlevania, which is a Western, like it's animated by Japanese people, but so is like like SpongeBob is animated by like Koreans.
Is it really?
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Everything. Like if Castlevania's an anime, then Invincible's an anime.
Yeah.
Because Castlevania is written and directed by people in America and like Westerners. But like Castlevania, there isn't a single main character out of the like 4 if you count Dracula, who's just a nice person people like. Like
Trevor Beaumont's like a swearing like
so many Western protagonists.
Self is nice.
She's fine.
She's nice.
Yeah, she's nice enough. But
Alucard's nice. Alucard's a good person. How dare you? Alucard does kill the two people that try to kill him. The two the two people he has like that like very steamy three-way with.
But he's like prickly. People don't like him.
Oh baby, I love Alucard.
Well, but he's not like the main protagonist though either.
Melt
you
in
know,
Alucard's arms.
He's like not the main. But like I'd say Naruto is closer to a Western protagonist than
because people don't like him.
Because other characters don't like him.
Not his fault.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like Trevor Belmont, no one likes him. V and Jinx, all their peers dislike them because they're mean and prickly.
I kind of dislike them too.
Well, but they're like villain, like But that's what you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Fucking. What's another one? I don't like another example. I guess Invincible is like a nice dude. Invincible
Mark?
Works. Yeah, Mark.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. He's a good nice guy.
Yeah, I would say everyone likes him, yeah.
But it's just like, you know.
You think it's an age thing? Do you think that's what it's supposed to be? Because the MCs in Japanese stories are usually younger.
Yeah.
And there's that like boyish wonder of the world, like trust. I think actually a really good representation of what you're talking about here, and this is why I believe Gon is probably the best written MC of all time, even though a lot of people call him boring, is I think Gon is a perfect representation of exactly what you're talking about here.
Yeah.
Where the entire story arc of Gon, from the Whale Island to the Chimera Ant arc, is the loss of innocence. Like it's a long journey of the people around him trying to protect his innocence until eventually he's put in a scenario where that can no longer, like everyone around him gets so powerful, the villains get so powerful that the good guys can no longer protect him.
Yeah.
And that immediately strips him of his innocence, and that's why he does become a physical adult in the Chimera Ant arc.
Right.
And people say it's not a masterclass in writing. It is. And so that I think is a really good representation of like a mix
Complex,
of those two.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
Because like Naruto is supposed to be boyish wonder, and the entire thing is Naruto applies a boyish wonder, like a rose-tinted glasses, like a superhumanly, like not human response to Naruto's situation, like attitude to his universe, so that people will love him even though everyone hates him. And I think that's why, because the MC, because Trevor Belmont's 30, right? And so like fucking Alucard's hundreds of years old. Like all of these characters are older. And I mean, I guess Jinx and Vi are 17,
16,
8, yeah.
Something, yeah. Maybe 18. They're fucking.
Yeah. Are they?
Vi is at least gets into like a BDSM club. And I think she fucks Caitlyn. I think she fucks Caitlyn.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't remember. I was watching.
I have like an image of her fucking Caitlyn in my head, but like the way a dude would fuck. Like I'm like, I remember her fucking Caitlyn, but it's just Vi's back. Thrusting
just an undershot of Vi's balls. Yeah, yes. I love the undershot.
Maybe that site wasn't Netflix.
Yeah. No, wait, hold up. No,
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of Overwatch movies that weren't. A couple of I've definitely seen some Overwatch film that wasn't that show.
Someone's definitely I know Jace.
Oh wait,
fucks.
that's League of Legends.
What?
I mixed up my
You
everybody.
outed yourself.
Listen, I knew all the Overwatch characters' names long before I was playing that game. I'll tell you that right now.
Jace definitely fucks. He gets down. But
Fuck is Jace?
Jace is like
Is he the one with the surfboard, the hoverboard?
No, that's Echo. He does not get down. He does not fuck.
Jace.
Jace is the dude who fucks the girl with like the huge Spartan ass like mom.
Oh yeah.
That bitch is. I didn't even call her a bitch, but she's awesome.
I love a powerful woman.
I
love a powerful woman.
I fuck it when she's just in her Roman Spartan bathhouse and like just with this twink. That's like
my
half
thing.
his
They
size.
always have the twink. They do the same thing in Castlevania, and I'm like,
really?
there's the fucking Nightforge guy. There's a Nightforge guy,
Xavier.
yeah,
or
who like
something,
melts
Ezekiel.
in the hands of like the redheaded vampire sister. God, I need to rewatch Castlevania. That show's fucking perfect.
That's another one. I told you I bought a treadmill and I bought it at the worst time ever because we're like looking for a new house.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't want to unbox this.
Yeah.
But I'm like, when I set up the treadmill, I'm gonna be crushing through these shows.
Yeah.
But I'm never gonna set it up because we're moving. And
You're
then-
moving like 4 months.
I know.
You're like you have. It's just
Trying
an
to find-
excuse.
We're trying to find it. But anyway, different anime. Let's talk about a different anime.
I mean, we're talking about anime right now.
Uzumaki?
Okay, yes, we should get to Uzumaki. So we said at the beginning of the episode, we're starting to begin with the winter 2025 season, and the first anime out of that season is Uzumaki, Junji Ito's most popular story, Uzumaki, and my God, it's perfect.
Have you read it?
Yes, I have it.
Are you lying?
I have it no, I guess it's in my bedroom. Yes, I've read it.
Okay.
Why?
I was just, well, dictate the course this conversation goes in.
I love this story so goddamn much.
Yeah.
It's so goofy.
Yeah.
It's objectively
It's silly.
It's objectively a really goofy story because it is the epitome of shit's happening.
Yeah.
And like,
Oh, yeah.
it's literally there's no narrative structure to Uzumaki whatsoever outside of the fact that their spirals. That's not good.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's fucking, what's his name? Suichi. It's Shuichi just running around being like, I gotta get the fuck out of this town.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny to me in the, like, especially in Japan, right? Because you can get stranded in America. Japan is the most interconnected country. You could get out of there.
Yeah.
Shuichi could take a bus and a train and be in Tokyo in 8 hours. Like, get the fuck out of there.
That's the thing. By like third ghoul in this episode,
Yep.
don't leave your house.
Yeah.
What are you doing going to school?
Like, you just opened a tub and your father had liquefied himself in a little like fruit roll up of a human being. Get on a bus.
Yeah. No, so I read the manga like in high school, like when I was 17 or whatever.
Because there was like a cool goth chick that you're trying to impress.
I was already dating someone, but I was like, she'll think this is sick. I'm gonna lend her my copy of Berserk.
Yep.
And she was like, I hate this.
She was like, I don't like the part where the first
Yeah.
page has a man fucking a monster.
Yeah, she's like, I don't like all of the sexual assaults.
Yeah. It's like, Casca should be treated better. And
Yeah.
we're like, yeah, we know.
But I was reading Uzumaki and Mother Fluffin. I remember being like, yeah, this isn't really scary, but boy, do I just not feel good reading it.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks you in like a spiral.
Yeah.
It's just an atmosphere. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm fucking bummed
Yeah.
reading this
It's
shit.
not a fun read.
And it helps because it is like the pacing's a little relentless.
Yeah.
Which helps the atmosphere. Cause you're like, all right, Christ, his dad just like corkscrewed himself into this tub.
Yep.
Page flip. Oh, this girl's eyeball is sinking to her head.
Yep.
Page flip. This dude's a slug.
Yep.
Like,
And it's like it's like a 30 seconds into the show itself.
Yeah.
Like that's like the epitome of like horror movies. There's usually like, or a horror like a like program. There's like an episode where it's like things are good, and then it's like I think Madoka Magica Play Magi is a really good example, right? Objectively, a horror like an anime, like horrifying to watch.
Yeah.
But there's like 10 minutes where like we're magical girls.
you gotta get to like episode 3 before it's like fucked.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, a lot of horror. You dread the first half hour of like
Yeah.
the horror movie because it's all like we're moving into this house
Yeah.
and you'll like your new school. Why is that crow in half? That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
But this, yeah, you won't be bored.
No.
Like it's immediate. If you don't like what's immediately happening, it won't change. But if you do,
that's the thing. If you don't like yes and there's more spirals, this is not the story for you.
what'd you think about how it looked?
Okay. I'm of two minds about it. I was of two minds about it. In the beginning of the episode, I was like, ooh, it feels like the animation style. I was like, gonna write a note down that was like HBO Max doing the most to spend the least on animation and calling it artsy. Because I was like, the way that Shuichi runs, it just looks stupid. Like he's just like running like he runs stupid. As like the frame rate was kind of low for 2D animation. But then as the
Is
episode,
it 2D?
what?
I can't tell if it's CG.
It's close,
It's
right?
hard to tell.
It is. It's very hard to tell. But the longer the episode went, I was like, oh, this is perfect for this because I think like even like you want it in color, it being in black and white, and also it being kind of not great looking, does a really good job to make you uncomfortable. Like I think from a directorial narrative standpoint, it looking the way that it does feeds better into the Uzumaki universe than if it was to be like hyper polished.
Yeah. I think I went through the exact same arc. Like,
Yeah.
I started this as like mid, and not in the mid where like people actually mean bad.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, I like that it looks like the manga, but like, same with My Hero. It's like, what's it giving me that the manga doesn't give me?
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, again, unironically this time, like a spiral,
Yeah.
like getting funneled in. Out of nowhere, I'm like 10 minutes from the end, and I'm like, so I guess halfway.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like halfway through, like 3/4 of the way through, and I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Like,
This is exactly how it was meant to be.
yeah, I was like, this is gorgeous. I love looking at this. Like, it's fucking moving at a clip.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the moment is when they reveal his dad.
I think, yeah, because
Or even like the first time you see the eyes go spiral on his dad.
yeah, well, because that was good. I think what lost me, like in the beginning, I'm like, this is pretty. Like, I like the spiral stuff. It's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Yeah.
Like, because you're seeing spirals in everything. And that's what makes you just have a bad time. Because at first it's like, oh, spirals in the little like fish cakes
Yeah.
in ramen and like
Spirals in the whirlpool.
yeah, like spirals in places you won't usually see.
Yeah.
Then someone bends over. There's a spiral of their hairline, like the spirals of your fingertips, and then gets into stuff that you see,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh,
And then
God,
you
I'm like,
start dreading basically
Yeah.
everything that you're interacting with in this universe because you're like, oh, this is not like it's bad and it's
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're like, oh, I don't want to look at my own hands now.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
And so, like, but what lost me? Did you do sub or dub?
Sub, I believe.
I did dub.
Okay.
Not bad.
Came out simultaneously. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Nice. Shout out.
Shout out to Adult Swim. Love me an Adult Swim.
Oh,
anime.
it is Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Does HBO own Cartoon Network?
Yeah, it's Warner Brothers.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
What a monopoly.
Yeah.
But I watched dub. Hearing the word spiral this many times definitely gets to you.
Uzumaki's it's a way better word for spiral.
Well, and also the dad, when he's like asking for the pottery and stuff, and he's like, I find that there's power in every little spiral. Make me a pot that'll make me feel like I'm spinning. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this might be the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
It's a dumb, like I said, it's a dumb story.
Yeah, I think it's like, it'd be better not in anime. So there's moments where he's like, his dad wouldn't eat the ramen unless there were the spiral fish cakes.
Yeah.
And if you played that out, live action, over the course of like a 5-minute, like uncomfortable, like dementia story. Like
Yeah.
if you really lean into they think he just has dementia and it's sad and it's uncomfortable.
That would be good. I like a green, darkish room, right? Like
Yeah.
a dinner, like the color palette of Hereditary,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like some like dark, eerie violins.
Yeah.
He's like plucking through his ramen, like looking for the fish cake. Cause you gotta remake it. And he's like spinning it, and it's just like you feel like you hear like the spoon clinking on the side of the bowl and all of that.
And they're just watching him, and
Yeah.
you're watching for like an uncomfortable amount of time.
Yeah. And then because the thing is like anime has such an ability to tropize something, like to make it like silly and goofy. Like him just like spinning his tub up
Yeah.
and hopping
Yeah.
in. You're like, yeah. It's like me and like whenever I was in a above ground pool, I'd run in a circle until I was
Yeah.
in a whirlpool.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's like doing it in those small bites. Like, I really think if you take like the first third of Uzumaki
Yeah.
and just stretch it into a 2-hour long, like slower paced live action movie,
Yeah.
it becomes kind of a masterpiece. Because,
Yeah.
it's like they're montaging through it. They're like, oh, he swirled his bowl and then he swirled the tub and hopped on in
Yeah.
and then he spun a little. And it's like, if you give me like a 5-minute
His mom cutting her fingertips off as a live action
Yeah.
would be so dope.
Yeah, you just stretch these out and
Yeah.
make them uncomfortable.
It's like her looking for scissors, like somewhere in like the hospital, like and it just like her just like,
Yeah.
ugh, oh man,
Yeah.
like the body horror, oh, it'd be so good. Even animated, it's a fucking tough watch.
It's great. Like, that's the thing. It's what it is
Mm-hmm.
a great shock value extravaganza.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna
body horror.
It's body horror. You're gonna constantly see something horrific. It's great for Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This
It is well timed. That's obviously intentional, but yeah.
This is, you go to Trader Joe's, you get those corn chips shaped like autumn leaves, you get some apple cider.
Yeah.
You're going to have an awesome spooky season.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is it could be, it's a 10 out of 10 version of that.
Yeah.
It could be like a great Hereditary.
Yeah.
Like, it could be a great A24 uncomfortable, like Oscar-winning movie.
Yeah, it would be. Man, you're talking me into it. It would
Yeah.
be a great live action.
Yeah.
And all you would really need is those first three. You need those three big hits. You need
Yeah.
Dad, you need the spiral face, and you need mom in the hospital.
Yeah.
And then they like wrap it up with Shuichi being like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Get rid of Slug Boy. Slug Boy's always a weird
Slug
introduction.
Boy's so bad. I hate it so much. It's going to be a terrible episode too. This is I love the introduction of Slug Boy though, because like so my notes are
for being wet.
No, yeah, right. And it's like he's just like kind of like talks slow, and they're like boo. I'm like, why do you only ever come when it rains? Which is objectively really weird. Yeah. But my notes are bully him, pull his dick out. I mean, bully him.
I was thinking a similar thing where I was like, it's so funny how movie bullies, maybe real bullies, I don't know. But the logic to be like, this guy is so fat and disgusting and slimy. Let's get him naked.
I want to see his dick. I want to give me penis.
Yeah, if I'm like bullying someone for being physically gross, the last thing I want to do is personally take off their clothes.
Them here. Yeah. Like I'm like, no, thank you. I want to put more clothes on you here. What are we talking about here? Azami, #1 bad bitch tattoo. Azami's face, the spiral with the eye, is the #1 bad bitch tattoo. The hottest woman you know that watches anime has that tattoo.
Yeah, people love that as a tattoo.
It's a fantastic. It's one of the most legendary manga panels of all time. I like something more. I like when the guy's legs are getting fucking whirlpooled into her face. And he's like breakdancing into her face. That's what I want tattooed. I want a dude just like in love with a woman, just getting sucked in.
Yeah.
Just bones crunching.
I hated the sound of her eye, like into her head.
Yeah. They're doing a really good job with it. I'm very happy with it. I'm very, very happy with it.
Yeah, it impressed me.
Is that all we had anime-wise? Oh my God, is it?
Do you think Ring-a-Ding-Ding, predict a thing?
Oh, by the way, we're not doing Boy in the Heron because we already talked about it. Go watch our Boy in the Heron episode.
Nick called me and he was like, we're not doing the Boy in the Heron, are we? And I was like, God, can we?
Yeah, I didn't. I simply didn't want to watch it again.
I'll get me too.
Yeah.
I'll rewatch it at some point, but like, woof.
I don't know. Now that we've gone
I saw
through
Megalopolis twice. I can watch the Boy in the
I want
Heron
to see it. I want to see it so badly. I want to see it so. You're really pitching me on it. I just want to see the boner joke live.
It's really. What a spoiler.
What? It's all over TikTok.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap up Uzumaki.
Okay.
I want to predict a thing.
Okay.
Do you think we'll get through the whole thing? Do you think it keeps steam?
All of Uzumaki?
Yeah.
It's 4 episodes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 4 episodes long. Yeah,
Whoa.
I think we got it.
Bad timing.
What do you mean? If first
Do
week
it
of
in
October,
October.
the last episode's going to be a Halloween.
No, it isn't.
It's the first week
There's
of...
4 episodes?
Yeah. So it's going to come out weekly. The last episode will come out like October 28th or something.
No, because it's September right now.
It's September
9th.
20.
Let's see. Next Sunday.
One day
is the
from
5th,
October.
and then the 12th. It'll end October 19th when it could end October 27th.
Oh. Yeah. I guess. Yeah, that is kind of annoying. But yeah, no, it's 4 episodes. So I think we'll watch the whole thing.
That's for the best. It doesn't need 12.
Well, it couldn't be. The manga's 300 pages.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like the only reason the manga I have is big is because I got the big old one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Do you think, I wonder if they'll make more of his shit after this? If it does
I
well.
hope so. He's got a lot of really good stories.
I could see this doing incredibly well.
I can't believe this is the first time that his stuff has ever been adapted in a way that people are like, good job.
They did one. Remember, it was
It was really bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, because it wasn't black and white and creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
They went the right directorial approach, and I'm very happy with it. I texted my tattoo artist, who was the guy who put me on to Junji Ito, and I was like, oh, yo, the first episode of Uzumaki is out. And he is at something in San Francisco. It's called Folsom, like the Folsom Street Parade, which is a gigantic pride kink parade.
Okay.
But not like... So, like, you think, like, Pride, you think, like, oh, rainbow flags, and, you know, we're having fun, there's floats. This is, like, it's not even just, like, LGBTQIA. It's, like, just a kind of a giant kink fair, but it's mostly gay men and women. And so I was like, yo, Uzumaki's out. And I'm just going to show you what he sent to me here.
If this is another man's penis, I will actually sue.
So I said, Uzumaki's coming out. That's what he sent to me. Give it a watch, Dan. Tell the crowd what you're seeing. Tell the crowd what you're seeing, Danny. That's what Brian Resrios, one of my closest friends, a man whose wedding I'm going to be in a week, sent me back for saying, hey, man, Uzumaki is out on Max.
Yo, I wish this were a penis.
Yeah, dude.
I've never seen that before. I didn't know that was possible. I thought it was a bit. What I'm seeing is a little, like, a float, if you will.
It's
It's like a dude. It's 3 dudes.
Yes.
And 2 are on their knees.
Yep.
And 1 is also on his knees.
Yep.
But 2 are on all 4s. And the other one's on his knees. And he has 1 fist in 1 asshole. And the other fist in the other asshole.
Yep.
And he's just going in and out.
He's double fisted.
I've never seen a single fist. I didn't know the body could do that.
Apparently you can. I knew you could. I've seen some documentaries, but I've seen a couple of documentaries.
That's a fun way to put it.
Yeah. So it's like this gigantic kink event,
Yeah.
and he's like,
That's fun.
like it's just like people just fuck. Like it's like that's not like that's very common there
It's also just on the street in broad daylight.
in the center of San Francisco.
Yeah, well,
In the dead center of San Francisco.
that's fun. I love openly exploring your sexuality.
So he goes and sells shirts there, like this corpse house.
Oh, cool.
But like he does like dudes.
Yeah.
It's like dudes in like BDSM gear, and he makes a gajillion dollars.
Wow.
Do you want to play our game?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Stank made us a game today, ladies and gentlemen, and it is a anime opening guessing game. I think is the best way to explain it.
Unfortunately, the anime guessing game got copyright struck, and we are unable to keep it in this episode. However, the unedited as well as an edited version I'll be adding are available to our YouTube and Patreon members.
All right, my best boy this week is Soul Leveling Ragnarok. Soul Leveling has a sequel.
Yeah, you didn't know.
Didn't know.
Is it good?
It's soul
More?
leveling.
It's more.
It's more soul leveling.
Yep.
It's just like soul leveling, but like there's more power now.
Okay.
Just like Jinwoo's a god battling. It's like, hey, Jinwoo's a god.
Spoilers.
I guess. All right. Yes, you're right. I'm done. I'm done.
We'll just say spoilers and then you continue.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Christ.
There's a sequel. It's about Jinwoo's son. It's like focusing on, and then like Jinwoo's not really in the story, and he's out doing god shit or something. And it's fun. It's a fun read because like everybody on TikTok, I somehow the slow slide into becoming a power scaler has happened. I'm there, and so now I'm making contracted long videos where I'm like, I don't think Jinwoo's as strong as everyone's saying, and they're like, you have missed 50 chapters of a story where he is much stronger than you think he is, and so I'm reading Soul Leveling Ragnarok.
I saw your TikToks of power scaling, like the strongest characters in anime. It was the most insecure video I've ever seen a person make.
What do you mean?
Because every TikTok of it starts with you being like, up next, Xeno from Dragon Ball. Oh, Nick, how are you going to put Xeno here? And I swipe and look at another TikTok and you're like, at number 5, the guy from High School of the Dead. Nick, what do you mean the guy, like Christ, you're your own hater.
I have to be. I do, Danny.
But it's just every entry.
Danny, you don't understand. You don't understand because your job is to just be cute and make yucks about shit people love. All right, and the most fervent and angry comment you get is pause too much. I get no Arceus should have been number 3 on this list. You fucking limp dick cuck. Think about the plates. All right, so I get ahead of it, and I'm like, listen, because I've wanted to do for a long time like strongest characters in anime explained, and then I was like, oh, every time you want to do a strongest characters in anime explained, you just end up talking about gods, and I'm like, all right, so I'm just gonna do the strongest 20 gods in anime explained, and it's just like once you start getting about the strongest doing cross universe fights, the fucking comment section is filled with vitriol. Mine wasn't because I talked about Pokemon, and apparently everybody wants me to talk about Pokemon. Yeah, believe it or not, there's a lot of Pokemon fans.
Yeah, shocking. Your editor's the biggest one.
I thought people liked the games. I didn't know people wanted to hear me talk about the manga.
Dude, I'm constantly wanting to I like don't even have time to do like the homework for this show. So I keep stopping myself from doing it. I keep wanting to be like, if I just crushed a season of a Pokemon show just to see if it's like an actually entertaining anime.
It's fine.
I want to do that with the most recent one, Pokemon Horizons.
Yeah.
I keep thinking about doing that. Or going back and watching the Celebi movie, because I always loved that.
Celebi movie's sick. I love the fucking... that's one of the greatest mythicals of all time. So...
You gonna do Pokemon content then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing a whole video breaking down the creation myth of Pokemon.
You gotta be real careful with copyright. They sue people for real. Just don't show footage.
Oh yeah, no, we just do like from like the games
stills,
and all that,
yeah.
or stills, yeah, exactly. And so like they sue people. It's fucking crazy.
Nintendo's like the only one actually suing people.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane. That's probably why there's like not that many like informational Poketubers. But yeah, I'm like explaining how Arceus created the universe, the plates, like how powerful Arceus is, like the creation of the creation trio, the mythical trio, all that. So like the first 10,000 years of the Pokemon universe, and then I'm gonna do basically everything from like there's like 3 million years between Arceus creates the universe and the beginning of Gen 1 that I'm gonna break down.
Wow. There's wars.
Yeah.
There's wars
It's
that were fought
dope.
with Rhydons.
Yeah,
Like,
it's fucking sick as hell,
Yeah.
dude. Who do you got for best boy?
my best boy is Megalopolis.
Yeah.
I watched it. I went
Check
to
out this boner I got.
I went to the
I want to see it so badly.
You please see it. I
I
went
want
to
to see it with you.
I can't see it 3 times. Because
Like
here's the thing.
twice.
Here's the thing. Well, I saw the
You
premiere.
fucked me.
I went to the premiere. I know. I'm sorry. I fucked you.
Yeah.
I went to the premiere, and I love going to a premiere, especially as a +1.
Yeah.
So there's no stakes, and everyone goes, and they're like all just dick riding whatever movie it is, and the movie
Because
ends.
I gave him a Diet Coke and some popcorn.
Yeah, because it's so funny. You go, here's the peek behind the curtain of premieres. You go with all these people who are so fucking stuck up
Yeah.
about like, oh, well, my opinion on the movie is the most important opinion.
Yeah.
And you go,
It's an incredible amount of self-importance at any premiere.
and you've never seen more phones on during a movie in
Yeah.
your life. There's a dude, like a rough diesel looking dude, just like a gigantic ripped, like what do you call it? Like bodybuilder.
Gotcha.
Like bodybuilder dude. For genuinely the 2 hours and 17 minutes that the movie was on, face tuning a photo of him like lifting a big thing and sending it to people for notes, and then get the notes back and then face tune it a different way for 2 hours.
That's so funny.
It was so crazy.
That's wild.
But so that's who you're with. Those are the people you're watching movie reviews from.
Yeah.
And so I love going. I love being a dick about it. Like, I won't like talk during the movie or anything.
yeah.
I'm respectful, but I love gossiping after to Daniel, who brings me. And there's no stakes. And so then all these people are like, oh, I'll post and be like, thanks for the invite, but I won't say my opinion on the movie. And I'll be like, I'm going to go home and give this a 2 out of 10.
I'm going to go home and slander the fuck
Yeah.
out of this. Because that's the thing. That's the thing, Danny. No one's allowed to be authentic.
Yeah.
No one's allowed to be authentic. They're like, oh, I don't get paid.
Yeah.
I don't get paid to be there. This is my raw, uncut opinion. It's like, oh, you want to go to the next one, don't you?
Yeah.
You, gotta go you can't be the guy being like, this is bad, unfortunately.
Dude, if I ever shift to just like hard movie reviews, I'm gonna make a channel called +1 Reviews.
Nice.
And like, because that's the only person you can trust is a +1. They got nothing to lose.
That's really good, Dan. That's really good. You're just ruining Daniel's stock. They're like, we cannot keep inviting them.
I'll just go as a different name every time. They'll be like, I'm bringing so and so, and I come in a disguise.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That's why I'm blacklisted from Netflix.
Really?
All those I kept bringing me as a +1, and I kept talking about how I was breaking into premieres.
yeah, that's true.
Don't do that, apparently.
But so I saw Megalopolis, 2 out of 10. The worst movie, like one of the worst movies ever conceived.
Borderlands, Megalopolis, the spider. My spider.
Madam Web?
Madam Web. Rank 'em.
My spider.
My spider.
Haven't seen Borderlands.
Okay.
So it's the best.
Okay.
I'd see Madam Web again
I'd watch Madam Web
immediately.
tomorrow. I'd watch it tonight.
I'd watch it tonight.
I'd watch it tonight.
I've seen it twice already. I'd watch it tonight.
It's so much fun.
Megalopolis, it's like, well, because I saw Megalopolis the first time and I was like, this is 2 out of 10. It's definitely funny enough that I went and brought my roommates, but it was a little boring. So I was like, I don't know if I want to see it again. Then I saw it again and I was like, oh, wait, no, this is like a Madam Web level movie.
Yeah.
This is a riot. So I'd say Madam Web, what's even the ranking? Like, would I like more or what's better?
I guess like what do you like more?
I'd watch Madam Web sooner.
Okay.
But like this is like
But it's not like boring bad. It's not like, oh, this is a bad movie. It's like, this is funny bad.
you're like in awe the whole time.
That it cost $150 million to make, and that the man who made The Godfather and
Apocalypse
Now made this.
Yeah. It's the most heavy-handed, like there's no subtlety. It's really boomer-esque.
Gotcha.
But it's like they did an interview before it. And it's like liberal boomer-esque, where Robert De Niro was there. He's not in the movie, but he was at the interview. And he was like, you know, I'd like to see Trump make this movie. Watch Trump make it. He doesn't know anything about movie structure. And I was like, I guess if you put it that way, yeah, it'd be pretty silly to see Trump make any movie.
Yeah, like literally a singular one. Like the man who's a reality television star and WWE Hall of Famer. Like, yeah.
I just love that he's not like, I'd love to see Trump make this movie. He couldn't be this impartial. He's like, he doesn't know how to make a movie. He can't make a film. It's like, yeah, he's never said he could.
That's not his running platform.
It's just incoherent, this movie. And there's a lot of scenes of like, the way I pitch it to people, it's like adult Spy Kids. Like, because it looks like a Spy Kids movie.
Like,
and it's
like bad.
like bad looking.
Yeah.
And it's got like the logic of a Spy Kids movie. Like problems will arise, and then it's just like, oh, they got over it. And it's like the masses are the stupidest, easiest to sway masses in the movie. But like, there's a lot of instances where they're in nightclubs, and you can just see Francis Ford Coppola behind the camera being like, yeah, no, do coke off her tits.
Yeah.
And like, it's a lot of that.
He's like, yeah, that's what they do in those nightclubs, right? This 85-year-old dude who was like fucking clubbing with Frank Sinatra 60 years ago.
Yeah, now kiss a girl on the mouth and say, oh, you're bad, because girls don't kiss. They do that. They have a, oh, you're bad after a girl kiss. And I'm like, whoa.
That's
awesome.
great.
It's awesome.
What a genius.
Anyway, Megalopolis is my best and piss boy.
Huge.
Because it's awful.
We have so much news. Freyrin got season 2 announced.
Yep.
Which I can't believe it actually took this long. That's kind of nuts. Especially when you consider the fact that Wistoria dropped its last episode today and also got a season 2 announced. Wistoria, historically not nearly as big as Freyrin, got a season 2 faster. And then the Monster live action movie, which was supposed to be made by Guillermo del Toro, got canceled. Yeah, not making it. And that is wild to me. Not because like Monster is that thing that like Monster isn't like Monster's not like what like fucking Vagabond. It's not like 21st Century Boys. Like those are the manga that like the stuffiest worst anime friend you have is gonna be like, these are actually great. I'd say Monster exists between that, or like Monster is actually a really good fucking story. But not a lot of people have seen it because it's a seinen and it's heavy and Johan's a fucking monster. But my God, would this have translated so well to live action? I'm so fine on Guillermo del Toro as a director.
He's a weird pick for it.
Yeah.
If you were like Christopher Nolan or like I don't know, like a David Fincher, like just a more intense drama one.
Yeah.
Why are you getting the fantasy guy to do a serial killer drama that takes place in a hospital?
Yeah, it's very fucking odd. Yeah. And so, like, I guess he could, he's not like, because it was like Monster, and they were like, hey, you love monsters, right?
That's why it got canceled. He read it, and he was like, where's the monster?
Where's the fucking tentacles? Yeah. So that got canceled, and then apparently, according to leakers, Boruto's animation is being outsourced from Studio Period to a Chinese animation studio. And so apparently Studio Period has too much on its plate to animate like part 2 of Boruto, so they're giving it out to a Chinese animation studio.
Too much on its plate with what else?
They animate Bleach, 2IBW, and Black Clover, which is also on hiatus.
Imagine passing the baton from Boruto to Bleach.
What do you mean?
Naruto's just so mismanaged.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's so much bigger than Bleach. Naruto and Dragon Ball are the 2 biggest anime with the fucking worst management.
Yeah. I'd argue that One Piece, up until episode 1000, also fell into that categorization.
Yeah.
Because they were just like, oh, we're just going to keep turning this shit out.
Do it.
Yeah, we're just like, everyone was like, no, it could go seasonal. And then, like, it was like 300 episodes into One Piece. They were like, they used to do like 36 episodes a year, and then they were like, we're going to do 48. And Oda was like, I only release 40 chapters a year. And they were like, fucking, we'll figure it out. And so, so it's all the biggest IP. It's just greed. They're like, we got to get it out right now and as fast as possible. Do you have news?
JJK officially ended the manga, and everyone hates it.
You know what? Great segue, Danny, because holy... Ooh, Dan, it's so bad.
If you're gonna spoil, you gotta say spoilers, but also please don't.
I'm not gonna spoil the ending.
Okay.
I am not gonna spoil the ending. I'm just gonna say, like, nothing gets resolved. Like,
didn't he confirm no JJK too?
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not doing it.
So what happens is basically JJK's last chapter gets released. It's a nothing burger of a chapter. There's like a walk off into the sunset, and they're like, well, bye. And a couple hours after it's released in Japan, they do a special announcement, and everyone's like, oh, it's Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh my god, like we're gonna get it. We're gonna get the sequel, and it's JJK has officially sold 100 million copies.
Oh, it's not an announcement, it's a brag.
Think about the fucking timing of that. They released the end of one of the most popular mangas in history, and then a couple hours after it comes out, they're like, special announcement time. Thanks for buying it. Thanks for buying it. Yeah. And so it's the ending of this story makes it not a that good story. Like, I'm not kidding. It's probably, in my opinion, the worst ending to a manga I've ever consumed.
Wow.
Yeah. It's worse than Tokyo Revengers. And people don't like MHA's ending. I like MHA's ending, but I think it's worse than MHA. It's
AOT?
I like AOT's ending more. It's bad.
Wow.
Because it's not even, or the ending of
It
JJK.
just stops.
The ending of exactly.
Yeah.
It's not an ending. It's a manga that will no longer get chapters.
It's so weird. He's just done with it. He's bored.
Like, people don't know. He took a month off a couple of weeks, like a month or so ago, for like health related reasons. So people don't know if he's just like
maybe
worse
he's
off.
dying. Yeah.
People don't know if he's just worse. He's like 35. But like also
The manga,
weekly
so he's
manga.
78.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So people don't know if he's worse off than like he's letting on. So that might be it. And they might be like doing like a bigger exposition dive on the anime, but this is exactly how we felt about AOT. We're like, oh, they're going to change it up in the anime, and they didn't.
Yeah.
And they've never really changed anything from the manga. Like, they've extended things, but they've never changed anything in the anime. It's fucking... The last 5 chapters are like a masterclass in how to destroy an IP.
It's so crazy.
It's fucking nuts.
I can't wait to see the next season and just see what the media surrounding it is like what the vibe is.
It's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
Because everything up until the last 5 chapters of, like, there's a couple of moments where people are like, that was stupid, but in the long run, it's like a good choice. Everything up until the last 5 chapters is really fucking good. And then everybody now knows. It's kind of like with Attack on Titan, where like Attack on Titan lost steam when the manga came out. The manga's ending came out because everyone was like,
yeah.
it wasn't great. And then when it gets animated, it turns out better animated because like they fleshed it out more, and then obviously things are going to be better animated if you do a good job. It's going to be like, I feel like it's going to be like tense. People are going to be like, do I like I hope I'm going to watch it with the love and fervor of the story. But it's the story now overall 7 out of 10.
Not bad.
Not bad. It's like
is
I
that
said,
a genuine 7 out of 10 or a 7 as in like a 7 sucks?
Like, I know, like a genuine 7 out of 10. Like, it was if they finished the story off, it would have been a 9, a 9.5, a 9.4.
Wow, yeah, then that's a big anchor down.
It's a 7 now. Yeah.
Wow. I'm excited for Chainsaw Man's usurpation of literally the entire anime industry, with My Hero done both anime and manga wise.
I'm gonna kiss Tatsuki.
JJK done manga and reputation wise.
Yep.
I'm so ready for the reign of Chainsaw Man. I can only pray. I still am nervous that season 2 is going to be like a dip in quality animation wise because it didn't sell Blu-rays or whatever. You know, remember we were worried about that?
Yeah, but they're doing the movie.
I know.
So the movie's going to cover basically everything up until like the end of part 1, which is fucking nuts.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's short?
There's only 90 chapters in part 1.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
Wowza.
the
Hey.
first part probably covered 30 to 40, and then the movie will cover another 20 or so.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
regardless, I hope season 2 and the movie are hype.
Excited for more Chainsaw Man. New
It's
chapter in
October.
the-
Where's our fucking release date? Trailer? Where's everything?
That's a really good question, Dan. Well, this brings us to our favorite part of the episode.
Oh, you
called-
know what? We might get to go to the premiere if we go to this Michael.
That would be nice.
I think it's maybe next weekend, by the way. Heads up.
I will.
Like next Sunday.
Ooh, I'm at a wedding. Are you talking?
Stop.
Are you talking October 6th? If it's October 6th, I'm at a wedding.
I think it is.
Okay, well, then you're going to have to find somebody else. But put in a good word for me. Okay, no official release yet for Chainsaw Man film, but speculation suggests late 2024, early 2025. So
It's definitely not this year.
So it's definitely not October. Yikes. Unfortunately, that is kind of brutal. Anyways, this brings us to our favorite part of the episode called Love Letters, where me and Danny get a question live sourced from our loving and live audience. So if you guys ever wanted to watch us live, get 2 hours of additional content every single week, or get the podcast 2 whole days early, please become a member on either Patreon, YouTube membership. Makes no difference to you, but it does make a difference to us. We make a better split on Patreon. So Danny, got any questions for us? So iBugman asks, what character from anime would you want isekai'd into the Scooby-Doo world?
I feel like L's the obvious go-to choice.
The episode would be 35 seconds long. He'd be like, no, there's a man running around trying to shut down this festival. Who's the festival owner? Like, the monster's exactly the height and weight of the guy running around here?
Yeah, L's just like, we have 2 suspects. This takes you guys 16 days. Every time.
What are we're settling down here? The van just happens to break down where all of these amusement parks are being overrun. The way that L would go about it, he would just go to the local costume store. Like, did anybody source a fucking Mudman costume recently?
It's just like they brief him on the case. It's like, we got a tar monster terrorizing the carnival. And he's like, all right, I'm going to set up a sting operation outside of the costume shop. Yeah. They're just like waiting. Someone leaves with a tar costume. He's like, it's him.
It's that guy.
Yeah, arrest him.
It's like, guys, next time you see the tar monster, try and rip his costume a little bit. We'll just find tailors nearby.
It's like 30 seconds into the episode. He shakes the commissioner's hand. He's like, nice to meet you, L. And he's like, this is the guy. This is your tar monster.
This is
like,
the one right here.
Jinkies, L, how'd you know? And he's like, he's covered in my hand is
it's hot. It's scalding hot.
My hand is fused.
I love the idea. I love that in Scooby-Doo, they always assume it's a monster, even though they've busted hundreds of monsters who are every single time a man.
Every time 3,000 arrests in Shaggy's still like, but like, what if this one's a vampire?
It's an abominable snowman. It's like, no, it's not. It's a guy on skis.
It's never been a vampire.
Not once, you dumb idiot. My answer? Revy from Black Lagoon. Just like, I love the idea of just being like, it's a tar monster. Just double Berettas.
Just fucking David from Cyberpunk Edge Runner.
Just beating the fuck out of a guy committing wire fraud.
Like, sit back tombs, like, stops time, fucking rips a dude's jaw off.
Like, songs, David.
Like, Zoinks, he really fucked him up. He's just like injecting shit into his eyes.
David, I feel as though we could have directed this energy towards the van. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's awesome. That's all we got. My name's Nick. His name's Danny. You know our socials. You watch our podcast. You had to get here from one of them.
We gotta do the same one every week.
What?
Just who's getting isekai'd in a Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, what if it's not? What if we put no thought into it? What if it's fucking Orochimaru? But he has to work with the Scooby-Doo gang.
It's like that's his penance for the Fourth War. They're like, fucking get over there. Go deal with those idiots. Yeah. That'd be great. I just love it. Like, just like a fucking just giant snake. They're like, I don't know which is worse. Orochimaru, you're kind of fucking the town up.
I hate my life, Scoob.
I don't like snakes.
I shouldn't have done those mushrooms.
All right, we're leaving. Goodbye. We love you.
Bye.
Mwah.